Carson. Hey, in this video, I am going to teach you how to figure out a quick rehab cost method. So when it comes to rehab, one of the things that I see a lot of beginning investors do is they either totally guess the rehab at a way low number, and when you guess the rehab at a way low number, the cash buyers that you're sending the deal to think you're an amateur. They either think you're an amateur, that you don't know what you're doing, or they just start to not trust you and they think that you're trying to get away with something. So obviously if the rehab is really low, it makes the deal look amazing. So that's bad, but also too, if you guess the rehab too high, then you could also be passing on deals that you say, there's no margin in that deal to make that one work. So what I did was I created this little rehab price sheet. And that way, what this will do is this will help you determine rehab costs. Now, I want to give you a disclaimer. Every part of the country has variations in cost. You know, material costs are about the same. Whether you go to Lowe's in Southern California or Lowe's in Davenport, Iowa, the pricing is going to be similar. It might be a little higher in California, or it might be higher in Florida, just transportational-wise, getting it there and the labor of the people working at the store, but it's not going to be that far off. It's not going to be double. So keep that in mind, but the labor is where it varies. So if you're in Southern California and the cost of living is really high, your labor is going to be higher than say in Davenport, Iowa, where we have just a medium income area. So that's one thing to think about. The other thing to remember is contractors can vary massively between one contractor and another. You could have 3 contractors bid a job. One could bid $10,000, one could bid $20,000, and one could bid $50,000. It can vary that much. So it's really important to always try to find over time, you're going to eventually, even though you may not be doing any of the rehab and you're just wholesaling the houses, you're still going to come across contractors over time that you can lean on for closer additional information. But this rehab sheet that I'm going to teach you will give you a good ballpark number. So let's just talk about it. Remember, we're talking mostly about the major items. So when it comes to a roof, in most areas, you can get a roof done for $500 per square, not per square foot, but per square. And the average, in a square is a 10 feet by 10 feet section. So the average house might be 20 to 25 square. So you might be $12,500 per house. Now, for the roof on that house to replace it, tear off and replace. Now, again, you could get a bid on that same thing and somebody could bid at $25,000. You have to find a good, honest, contractor to do the work. Again, you're just giving numbers. So if a wholesaler comes back to you and says, man, we could never get that roof done for $12,500. Well, then they haven't done a good job of really looking around for good contractors, and they may need help. I've made a lot of money over the years just by, helping my buyers that were saying my rehab numbers were off. I would connect them with contractors that could do the job at a lot less of a cost, and which made me look really good to them, lowered their costs, and they were able to buy more houses from me. So that's a technique as well. An average window, for example, you can replace a window with a good, nice, high-quality dual-pane window, double-hung window for $400 a window. So if you walk through the house and there's 15 windows, you can easily do some quick math to find out what it costs to replace all the windows. If the windows aren't bad, you don't have to change out everything. Remember, you can just get in there and get in and get out. Your buyers have to be thinking that. The other thing is, are they using the house for rental, or are they using it for a retail flip? And depending on what class of house it is, that will also be reliant on how much rehab they do. The other thing is painting the house, taking everything out and painting the whole place. I just use a $4 per square foot number. So if the house is 2,000 square feet, I take that times $4, and I know that will labor prep, drywall where mud and make the walls look nice and smooth, and paint, all that cost built in, so you can get a quick paint price. The average kitchen remodel is about $10,000. The average bathroom fully remodel is about $5,000. So use those numbers as when you're trying to figure out your costs. One of the other things is siding. If you're doing vinyl siding around the house, you can vinyl side the whole place for about $400 per square. Again, on siding, it's figured by square, which is a 10 by 10 foot section. So if the average house is about 25 square or 30 square, you can easily do some quick math. The other thing is doors. You can install new doors. Exterior doors and interior doors, it's about $300 a door, so keep in mind if you walk in and all the doors are missing or broken, kind of tally that up. So every house needs landscaping. You're going to need to trim the trees, trim the bushes, put mulch in, just do decorative stone on occasion. So figure about $2,500 to do that stuff. The other thing is lights, outlets, and switches. A lot of times those are old and beat up or don't work and just look really bad. Just figure on about $2,000 to change out all that stuff. And then also to put in a new furnace and air conditioner. You know, a lot of times, depending on where you're at, especially if it gets really, really cold and really, really hot, through the summer and the winter, then you're going to need a new furnace and central air unit if they're really old. They get over 10 years old, those items start to lose their lifespan. So that costs about $7,500 to replace both of those as well. So I just wanted to go through some of these costs with you. As you do more and more deals, you're going to learn this more and more. But the main thing to remember, this is going to be a benchmark. This will keep you out of trouble from going too low or too high, and this will also give you the confidence that you can talk to some of these, not only sellers but also buyers when you're discussing cost of rehab. So yeah, I know this will help, and I'll see you guys on the next video.